Well, thanks for chatting as always, Michael, and start with congratulations on last season. I mean, it was very, very strong right the way through.
Yeah, it was good. If you would have said at the start of the season we'd be pipped by one in the premiership, considering the runners we had, you would have signed on the dotted line. But when you get it so close and have a little bit of a sniff, you'd love to go that one more. But we're a stable which has been rebuilding, so it was a good achievement to achieve what we did with the team last year, and we're looking like we've built a stronger stable leading into this season.
You said to me this time last year that you weren't going to win the championship last season, you were going to win it this year. Is that still one of your main aims? Yeah,
I think it is. We've got less horses than some of the bigger stables, but I think last year we showed that we can definitely pack a punch, and statistically we were a very strong stable. So we're a stable which doesn't buy form horses, so it was always going to take a little bit longer to rebuild, and we only bought light the first year that I was here, and we're only starting to buy nicer sort of yearlings moving forward from last year, which are now our 2-year-olds. So we need those horses to come through as 3 and 4-year-olds to really get that good band of horses across the older horses, and that's going to take a little bit of time.
And looking back again at last season, what was the highlight for you?
I think there's plenty of highlights. We had our stable rider Jonathan, who rode winners, which was good to see. But it was just turning out the winners and just having the consistency, which was really the highlights of the year.
And how are you enjoying your rock star status with the fans here at Jebel? They love you.
Yeah, they do. It's been good. It's a game where your head can't get too big, but it's good to support the fans which come and support Jebel each week.
And you made a flying start with the trials so far, and a couple came home in front. And start with Nahaash. Is he one we should be looking forward to?
Yeah, he'll start at the first meeting at Jebel over 5. He's looks like a pretty uncomplicated horse. He'll stretch out in a little bit of distance. I think probably a mile will be where he'll be capped at, but it'll be a nice starting point to start over 5, and I think he'd be ultra competitive first up.
And Tawthig also came home in front on the same day, caught by 60 right?
Yeah, he's a horse which is quite a big horse, and he probably could stretch a little bit, but he seems very sharp, again, very professional. So I'd likely say he'd be the next one who'd line up in the 5 at Jebel in the first meeting as well. And
you're going to be ready early doors at Maidan as well, and Yetal is one you're aiming at that first meeting?
Yeah, he trolled. He's a nice horse we've got a lot of time for, and he'll head to the 7 furlong at Maidan. We took him for a little spin around there 2 weeks ago, and he looks to handle the surface well.
Is he one you bought?
He is. All the yearlings this year Keeneland purchases, and we had 2 or 3 breeze up horses, but they'll all purchased by myself in the US.
And when you go over to Keeneland, what are you looking for? Is there a certain type you go for?
There is. There's basically we're just looking for an athlete, and we're definitely looking for dirt pedigrees as well. That's predominantly what we're looking for. So it starts with the athlete, finishes definitely with the pedigree as well.
Interesting. A couple more. You've got a Mendelssohn called Daamiss. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, he's a very nice horse. He, it's too early to be saying, you've got a Derby horse, but from his work, he looks like he's well above average. So he's just a couple of weeks behind some of the other 2-year-olds, and he's just a horse which is showing to be well above average on track already.
And temperament-wise, it's pretty good for him?
I think he's still a little bit of work in progress still. He's wanting to get on with the job, but it's probably a combination of being so good on the track. So we're just taking a little bit steady with him. So he'll be fine once he gets a bit of racing experience.
And Tabdeel, it's another one I thought I'd ask you about by Land Force.
Nice horse. He was bought from Tats in Book 2, would love to have him ready for the first meeting Abu Dhabi, the 7 furlong maiden, but he needs to go and trial officially before he races, so we'll most likely start him over 6 at Jebel in the second meeting.
Okay. And then the horses that we know from last year, I suppose we'll start with the 2 that made it through to World Cup night, and Mouheeb last year looked phenomenal on his day. Any reason why he perhaps underperformed on the big day? The original plan was to send him to the mile, and then when he was so brilliant over the 6, we kept into the 6.
And he drew wide again on the big night, and just didn't have the greatest run, and it looked like a night where you had to be a little bit closer to the rail, so it was a little bit of a question mark. So I think this plan, if all goes well, would start him at 6 again. Possibly a Saudi track might suit him a little bit better because he's not up on the bunny. But if it didn't pan out that way, then we'd look to send him to the mile on the big night.
That's really interesting. And Bilhayl, I love this horse. Really strong turf sprinter. The Alquoz is in your thinking again?
Yeah, definitely. He was starting the Dubai Dash. He was unlucky not to win the Blue Point. He's done such a remarkable job. The horse, he came as a maiden, and we didn't really know what we had, and just got him going, and he just kept on taking a leap in his stride. So he's done really well, and I think with a nice summer under his belt this year, he'll be competitive again in those sprint races.
Yeah, he's really exciting. And your filly from last year, Lahfaty, she really came around, didn't she, at the end of the season? What's her campaign looking like?
She's going to run the first meeting at Jebel. She's going really well. There's a nice handicap race there for her. She's still well rated, so she'll just look to go through the grades, and then we'll decide what we do with her based on how we see she's come back. But she looks like she's come back pretty well, and I'd expect her to be pretty prominent in the first meeting.
She'll have to take on colts a fair bit this season.
Yeah, she will. She'll have to take them on, but she'll get a little bit of weight relief, and she's done really well. She's strengthened up, and she's a big, strong filly now. So I think she'll be half a chance.
Okay. And last year, another nice one, well, the one that everyone got very excited about was Yetal. Things just went a bit awry with him towards the end of the season.
Yeah, he won the Guineas Prelude, and he had to sort of bump his way out to get out there, and just pulled up a little bit scratchy. And there was nothing wrong with the horse, but he was just really growing, and the way he's done over the summer, he's just turned into a stallion now. He's just very immature, so it was just a bit of immaturity, and we made a decision just to give him the time. And it was whilst you're wanting to get there, whilst you're in the season, looking back at the horse we've got now is the right call, because he's turned into a serious animal.
What sort of distance? Where is his sort of optimum, do you think?
6 to a mile would be his cup of tea. He's definitely a sprinter, but depending on where we take him, it's advantageous to be on the speed in some of these races. So he's possibly a horse that you'd stretch to a mile if we think that's going to be more suitable come the bigger nights.
Yeah, he's really exciting. And Sadaaty, another really promising one that we haven't seen in a little while.
Yeah, he was going really well last season, and just when we were ready to, potentially, I thought he'd be a Jebel Ali mile horse, and he just stepped on something and got a little bit of hoof abscess, and it just put him out for the rest of the season. But he's in fine form at the beginning of the season, and we'll see him in a couple of meetings.
Okay. And one I like, I think it's a really talented horse, Kal Barg. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's good. He's come back nice now. He won his maiden here, and he got rated very highly. He got rated a 95, so he probably struggled just to take the big leap from maiden class up to that better sprinting class. So he'll most likely head to the first meeting at Abu Dhabi over 7. There's a 0 to 100 there, and he looks like he's come back well.
Okay, good to hear. And another one who's just been a real trooper for you is Alhzeem. He looks great at the moment. What's his plan?
Yeah, he's just going to run through the handicaps. He's a horse which sort of gets a little bit back in his field, so he's struggling a little bit at Maidan, so he really needs things to go his way. But he did a super job at Jebel Ali, where he can be a bit more dynamic. So we'll just take him through the grades, and then hopefully get him to if he comes back well, get him to that low-level black type race this year.
Okay, good to hear. And Brew was a kind of big name acquisition last year, and I suppose they do often need a season or two, don't they, for come in?
Yeah, he did. He travelled pretty light when he got here, and he actually got hurt in his run in Maidan. Just got galloped on pretty badly, so it ruled him out for the season. But he's come back nicely. His jump outs have been good and strong. We'll just decide whether we start him off over the turf at Abu Dhabi. There's a handicap, and then into a listed mile race, and then before we decide to give him one more turn at Maidan.
So you sort of erring towards the turf with him because of his physique? Or?
Yeah, he's definitely a lighter horse, and potentially the dirt courses he was racing on in the US are a bit tighter than the Maidan trucks. So He's definitely not a big, well-set horse, so he could potentially, even with his pedigree as well, be suited to the turf. So we'll decide where we kick him off on, and it'll be a little bit of going into uncharted waters to find out where his happy place is.
Nice one. Shamikh, I love Shamikh again. How's he doing?
He's doing well. He's a horse that he just got a splint last season, just coming out of the sand roll. He just knocked himself, and it just ruled him out for a couple of the crucial weeks in his training. Again, he'll probably start off something similar around whether we take him to the turf, which he was where he ran on previously. He does suit Meydan, he does handle it, but we'll just have to find out what the best races are for him. But most likely start over a mile, potentially Abu Dhabi or on Meydan. There's a handicap mile race there for him in the first meeting as well.
Okay. And a new one, Embesto, comes with some Group 3 form, which is rather nice.
Yeah, it is good. Previous years we've sort of got maiden sort of horses and lower handicap horses, but this year we've gotten a few nice horses like Embesto. Been watching his career up there, and Roger did a great job with him, and now I think he'll do a good job in Dubai. He's travelled well. Got a few horses from the UK this year, and they'll look to sort of step out around December time.
And then your Justify Mubsher, who slightly unusually is from Australia, which is nice for you, I guess.
Yeah, we were down at the sales at Easter, and we went down there to see if we could buy some Australian speed, and he came up as a Justify, and it was the first season, so we managed to pick him up relatively cheaply before Justify went on his boom, and he's out an Exceed and Excel mare, so he's definitely got a dirt pedigree that will suit, and he'll head to his first trial at Jebel next week.
He looks the part.
Yeah, he does. He looks like a very athletic, nice dirt sprinter, so he's got a good attitude about him, and got the pedigree to match.